did. I'm glad you stopped by.
Yeah, it was all good. I could be in the NFL too if you want me
Yes,
to.
you could. You and Tyler Magnus. I introduced him the same way, NFL.
NFL, NFR, whatever.
Hey, man, you've been here, a lot of times, and I want to get your take on the team roping. We've been talking about it's bigger steers, compared to that's what's been roped in, probably in the last 5 years or so. But you probably roped bigger steers, early in your career out here at the NFR.
Yeah, it's there. I was just talking to Caleb Drigger's dad a while ago. It's always easy when you're on the couch to say this, say that. You should have done this, should have done that. And I know from experience being here, it can be really easy if you get a good start.
Yeah.
And it can be really difficult if you don't. And for the heelers, the big steers, it's really important that you get a lot of loop through and you got real good position. You get too far away, you can't get enough loop through. And so the big steers make a difference, but more than anything, to me, that is making this NFR so tricky for the team ropers is because the steers aren't leaving quite as true.
Right.
They're either not being able to get out of the chute good enough because they're so big, or they're just still not splitting the gates.
Right,
and when they split the gates, man, it's easy because you can get a roll, and the steers are just right there if you get the right start. But it just looked like that to me, again, sitting there watching it from the couch.
Right.
It looks like to me that everybody got started off right off the get-go, kind of running over themselves, trying to be three on steers that you can't be three on.
Mm-hmm.
And then it snowballed from there to the point where it is now. But
yeah, exactly. It looks like, you're talking about on TV. It looks like, the steers are so big. It doesn't look like they're running that hard, but when they get going, you're seeing guys, and it may be a combination like you're talking about, maybe they're a little late, that kind of deal, but we're kind of using the back half of that arena, this year, and we're used to seeing it happening right there in front of the box.
Well, I know from experience, if you rope in this arena on the back half of the arena, it is like digging post holes by hand.
Oh, yeah.
And, just a chore.
Sure.
And if you get the start and you use the front half of the arena here, it can be like stealing. They're just handing you money every night, but it's all in getting the start right there.
Right.
And if you're just a little bit late and the steers try, you're going to run them down there.
Using that front half and the back half, is it because of the corners there for the head horses to get up in? Is that the difference, versus the front and the back? Or explain that a little bit.
You've seen people before where they reach when the neck rope's popping off and they rope the steer, but then they don't do a good job of pushing their horse up and around in the corner and making that corner real soft and a good smooth roll. The whole deal with roping on the front part of the arena here is making sure when you do stick it on them, then you ride forward and give that good round soft corner so that the first legal hop, once the steer turns, it's a little slower corner.
Yeah.
But once he squares up and gives you a good legal hop, the heeler's able to rope him. They're already timed up. They're already in position. And then when he jumps away, they rope him. Then the header can start back up the fence and face, but everything's almost in a V.
Right.
But you get a good flag right there.
Right, sure.
The guys that reach, stick it on them right when the neck rope pops off, but they come back at an angle, 45. The steer washes out. The heeler has to wait a jump or two, and by the time they throw, the header's in that round corner, and it don't work.
Anywhere.
And so the back half of the arena, why it's so difficult, is because it literally seems like 5 or 6 strides, and you're there.
Sure.
So the steers start ducking and diving the back half of the arena because the back end's right there. The horses start leaning on you. They either wanting to lean to the left or they're rating because the back end's coming. And there's too much stuff changes on the back end of the arena. So that's what makes it difficult to be on that half of the arena.
Right, sure. I could sit here and talk team roping with you all day long, but we need to talk about Tarter. It's a great product. They've got, chutes up here. But lead us into that deal. I noticed, Turtle Pal, Martin Lucero, y'all don't go with that brand for no reason. And talk about Tarter a little bit for us.
Well, I started with them 4 years ago and actually met them at the 09 finals here. And they weren't even in the rodeo industry.
Right.
They've been building panels, gates, three-point equipment. I didn't even know who they were because they're so big back east, but they weren't very big in Texas. And once I flew out there, and they took me to their 7 plants.
Yeah.
and saw everything they did. I mean, I was blown away.
Right, sure.
At all the stuff that they make for other people,
Mm-hmm.
not only just the Tarter name, but
Right.
they make all kind of equipment for a lot of big other companies.
Right, sure.
And so when I got to visit with them, they're a family owned and operated. Everything's done in the United States. They're a family oriented company.
Mm-hmm.
Walking through the plants, Josh who was taking me through there. He's one of the owners, and he knew everybody that worked in. I mean, this plant's got a lot of people,
Sure.
and he knew
yeah.
everybody by name.
Right, that says a lot.
That's involvement.
Yes.
And I was really impressed with that. And then since I've been using their equipment, it's the best equipment I've ever used.
Right,
I mean,
sure.
and I don't. Anybody that knows me, I'm a brutally honest person.
Right.
And I tell all my sponsors up front, if I have to lie for you to sell your product,
Yeah.
I won't be involved with you
Right.
because I don't lie.
Right.
But in their case, you can tell people with honesty that this is the best equipment made.
Sure.
I've never had mine break down. I've used mine. I've had it for 4 years now. The only thing I've ever had to do on any of my shoots is change the button in the battery,
Right.
and put one grease zerd in on one of my
Right,
shoots.
sure, which is to be expected.
So-
I mean, something like that. I mean, I've seen videos. I mean, they're throwing stuff, as far as the product testing, they're throwing stuff off of buildings. They're running over,
Right.
I mean, just everything, as far as, their shredders and stuff. I mean, they're running over cinder bricks,
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, and they're testing it all, and
Right.
it looks like a great product. And you kind of touched on it, it's not just rope and shoots, I mean, they've got feeders and panels for sure, and
They've got anything that you could imagine for a horse or a cow or
Yeah.
a goat or whatever. I mean, like I said, I had no idea that they had all that
Right,
stuff.
sure.
And they've got 3-point equipment.
Yeah.
They've got. I mean, if you can get a catalog that some of the guns a half-inch thick, and
Yeah.
it's got everything that you could possibly want.
right,
And I had no idea. They've got one plant that just builds those water troughs. And
Right,
stuff,
one full plant,
and,
yeah.
And I didn't even know they made water troughs.
Right.
And so it's to go see their stuff in action is it's amazing. But for me, time is money. Any time that you rope, especially if you rope for a living, that's what you're going to spend all your day doing. Then it's important that you have good equipment
Right.
to work with. And from my standpoint, we developed these new back gates that are on these now, and I kind of helped design those where they opened up and the whole back end is open rather
Right.
than having some kind of obstruction
Right,
or
sure.
restriction in the flow of the cattle. And
Yeah.
that's been a huge innovation. And but it's just everything in my arena, that everything flows together, everything works. Nothing's ever broke.
Right, sure.
Like I said, I put a lot of runs in there. I put a lot of runs on my shoots. I put a lot of runs in my strip and shoot.
Yeah.
I put a lot of runs all through my arena. And it just works.
Right,
and
sure.
and it's built as good as this stuff can be built. Their painting facility is state of the art.
Yeah.
There's everything's powder coated instead of just being painted to
Right.
where it kind of gets rusty or whatever
Sure.
in a year or two. And mine looks just like it did 4 years ago.
Right, exactly.
So that when you got people that come by your house, and I do a lot of clinics and
Right.
stuff, and I have all kinds of people coming through, and everybody that comes there, when you say, maybe you ought to look into a portable arena,
Right.
and you can, I had the impression of portable arenas when anybody would mention it to me, man, I don't want a portable arena. I don't want that junk.
Mm-hmm.
But when people see mine, and you can't explain it until you see it, but when people come to my house and they rope in my arena and they see my stuff and how neat it looks and how good quality it
Right.
is and everything about it, everybody there is
Yeah,
impressed.
absolutely.
And so, like I said, it means a lot to me, not only for, I won't represent somebody unless they are who they say they are.
Right.
And Tarter is everything they said they are. They're everything they represent, and they represent everything that is important to me.
Right, sure.
Which is a good, wholesome. It's a Christian-owned,
Yeah.
Christian-based family. I mean, it's just everything about it is the right kind of
Right,
company.
sure. And I'm sure, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's a website, you probably go to Google and punch in Tarter, and it's going to be the first thing that comes up.
I think it's Tarter.com or Tartergates.com or something like that. Is that right, Russ? Tartergates maybe.com.
So I can go on there, I'm sure, and probably got a full catalog and you know how to, you know, if you have questions, you know, you can sure get on there and figure that out. And, But yeah, from what I've seen, it looks like a great product. We're very happy to have them here, you know, representing, you know, here at NRS with us. And Dave, I know you're busy, but are you going to be around for a little bit right here? Did you just roll in, or you got somewhere? I mean, I want to let everybody know, you know, if they have questions, you know, I know. As far as the technical stuff, I'm sure they'll talk to the Tarter guys. But, you know, as far as rope and shoots and, you know, using, you know, they can visit with you for a minute. And
you can talk to me. I'm either I'll be around here for a few minutes, and then I'm at the convention center every afternoon at the Hilton Convention Center.
Right.
And they've got a booth here with somebody that can answer questions or whatever. And we got booths different places. But, yeah, I'm anybody can find me either over there or you can even call me or Facebook me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm pretty approachable, so
you can be found.
And anybody knows anything about me, I'm brutally honest. So
yeah.
You can ask me and I'll tell you the truth.
Yep.
As I see it.
Yep. Well, Dave, we appreciate you you know, being up here with us and talking about Tarter. And I've been a hero of yours. You know, I mean, not of yours, but you've been a hero of mine. For a long time, I'd met you at Rich Skelton's house there one day. I think y'all were doing a school, but man, keep it up. You still traveling a little bit, roping and making the big ones, I'm sure. And
still rodeoing some and doing a bunch of schools, and actually got into some oil field stuff a little bit on the side too. And so I got lots of irons in the fire. And, but I actually just figured out, over the last couple of years, I just kind of figured out at the end of this year that I was kind of getting burned out, and I didn't even know it.
Right, sure.
And you do this for so long.
And
I'm actually enjoying roping again and competing and looking forward to going and trying to win something this winter. So
did you take your little break? Is that what you did?
Well,
you know,
I came
as far as
home, traveling,
I guess.
Yeah, I came home right after Cheyenne this year and took a little break and kind of was doing some other stuff and. Like I said, being away, I guess being off the road for a little while let me kind of get away from it some and rejuvenate a little and enjoy it again and kind of remember why I team rope, and that's because I love it. So sometimes you got to back away a little bit and get out of the fire.
I hear you.
So
I hear you.
I got to do that, and I'm looking forward to it again. So.
Well, good. Well, they're wrapping us up over here, as they always do. I get to talking to you guys too much. But, ladies and gentlemen, David Key right here. He's talking about Tarter. If y'all have any questions, you know, get with them. It's a great product. We're proud to have them here with us. But give it a hand for David Key real quick.
Thank you.